So, Laura, you've been riding the bucket bike?
I was looking at the odometer yesterday and it said 549 or 589.
Oh, pretty good.
Yeah, and I calculated that my daily commute, riding the kids to school, then to work, then back home, then back to school, then back home, is about 8 miles.
So what's your review after how many months? Like
6?
6.
I think we got it in June.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. A+, 2 thumbs up. No complaints from the riders except after I accidentally let the bike fall over in the driveway. And it was a little hard that time to get the kickstand up because of the bumpy driveway. But other than that, they love it. They jump into all of their many layers of winter snow gear in the morning in order to be warm for the 5-minute ride to school, and that is a sign of sheer joy and love.
It almost feels like a drive with a 1,000-watt motor sometimes.
Yeah, it can.
Electric assist, 1,000-watt Befang we put on, which has been plenty.
I like that it's flexible, that when I feel like having a workout, I can turn the motor way down or off. And when I'm late, I can crank it up to pedal assist 3 or 5 and just basically fly with 0 effort and no sweat. I do sometimes ponder if I'm like getting any exercise, because I sometimes feel like I'm just moving my legs and flying along. But I definitely, regardless of whether I'm exercising or not, I think we're all the better for having the time in the outdoors and in the air and in the elements that you just can't get in a car.
Right.
And the vestibular stimulation of like bouncing and swaying
Vestibular
happens no matter. $10 development word there. Yeah. I'm recognizable all over town. I have friends come up to me often and say, "I see you every day riding around on your bike." So that feels good, both personally because it's nice to be noticed, and it feels like community, but also because it means that people are, every time they see someone riding on a bike, they're like getting this reinforced message, like, that can happen. So I feel good about being a part of that movement.
Yeah, I know you put a couple lights on, a headlight and a back blinking light and a flag and those ultra bright vests, even in the daytime.
Yeah, I feel like the lighting system needs a little work still, but I do feel like in our quiet neighborhood and on sidewalks at night, I feel like we can be safe, which is also, a good expansion of our range of our ability, our capacity.
How about safety? Have you had anybody like beeping or being frustrated behind you?
I can't account for the feelings of the drivers behind me. No one has ever said anything or beeped or made a movement that I could see from within their car. Like, people have been, I've noticed how many people have like noticed us, say, parked in a turn lane waiting for the cars to finish, and they just go out of their way to stop and let us finish our turn. So whether they're thinking, "Oh my God, that lady's crazy. If I don't stop for her, then that crazy other person won't and she won't be safe," or if they're thinking, "Cool, I'll stop for a biker and let that happen." I don't know. But it feels to me like I can get around very safely in the community.
We have it throttled to 16 miles an hour, I believe, the motor.
Yeah, I do use the throttle on the main roads for every turn, and often actually stopping from a standstill, I do use the throttle, just to, I don't know whether I'm being lazy or whether I really do believe that it's safer to just go instead of standing up and having that, momentary instability. But it just feels like the right thing to do, at least when the kids are in the bike, to just use the throttle and get going.
And I meant the top speed is crippled, I should have said, at 16. And you don't go much faster than 16.
Right, you can't pedal faster than 16. Downhill, if I'm not paying attention, I can get up to 22 miles an hour like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it has happened a lot of times. But going uphill, I would say I've kind of habituated myself to going around 13 miles an hour. So I've sort of trained myself using pedal assist 1. Now if I turn pedal assist 1 off, I feel like I'm going so slow it like makes my mind want to explode. So I'm curious about that. If like I've spoiled no pedal assist for myself because of my expectation of going faster. It's an interesting psychological thing happening there. But
And
yeah, I would say it's very easy to get around the flats and the small hills at about 13 miles an hour. And then I feel comfortable going like pedal assist 2, going down to like sometimes even first gear going up steep hills, which takes me to about 6 miles an hour. But I don't know, that's just what feels right for me most of the time.
And the kids are getting heavier, so eventually they won't be able to both sit. You have them both sitting facing backwards closest to your seat because the center of gravity and the center of weight is better. But as they get bigger, one will have to sit facing forward. Right?
Yeah, I mean, when their little behinds get broader, certainly it's tighter now that they're wearing snow gear than it was when they weren't. But so far, yeah, like I said, like neither of them has uttered a single word of discomfort or complaint or dissatisfaction with their ride. So we should and I will just say, I think it's unparalleled for like the bucket part is amazing. Like I can go to the grocery store and like get 7 bags of groceries and just throw them all on the bike without even having a thought, which is pretty cool. And I couldn't do that on any other cargo bike that like the kind with panniers. I think you just couldn't really do that.
Right.
So it's just really convenient.
Great, that's great.
Mm-hmm.
It's getting dark. We're going to go on a walk in the woods here by the river. I did want to show that super spooky tree behind you. It's a little scary. Okay. All right. Stay safe out there. Bye.